The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it.
In part 1, we exposed how secret satanic societies are controlling the music industry behind the scenes. We explained the real meanings behind the symbols which we are bombarded with every day. Although the music industry moves at a high pace, with new trends and styles appearing every other month, we see the same ancient symbols being used by artists years after years. We proved that a lot of the artists and actors are possessed by demonic jinn. Using ancient knowledge that is kept hidden from the masses, they are able to connect with the world of the unseen. This allows them to create music that is very appealing to the soul. They can buy everything that their heart desires. They live in the nicest homes, drive the fastest cars, and wear the most expensive clothes. But something that most of the people are not aware of is that all the fame and riches come with a rather heavy price. What was the price that they had to pay in order to live the life that they are living now? And was it really worth it? You will find out in this video.
ذرهم يأكلوا ويتمتعوا ويلههم الأمل فسوف يعلمون.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
In order to fully understand the Illuminati and why they want to control the music industry, we have to go back to the very beginning.
Of the things we know about the jinn is that they were created before men. The Quran is very explicit that before we existed, the jinn existed. Before Allah created Adam, He had created the jinn. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Iblis to prostrate to Adam, not the other way around.
قال ربك للملائكة إني خالق بشرا من طين فإذا سويته ونفخت فيه من روحي فقعوا له ساجدين فسجد الملائكة كلهم أجمعون إلا إبليس استكبر وكان من الكافرين قال يا إبليس ما منعك أن تسجد لما خلقت بيدي أستكبرت أم كنت من العالين قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين قال فاخرج منها فإنك رجيم وإن عليك لعنتي إلى يوم الدين قال رب أنظرني إلى يوم يبعثون قال إنك من المنظرين إلى يوم الوقت المعلوم قال فبعزتك لأغوينهم أجمعين إلا عبادك منهم المخلصين قال فالحق والحق أقول لأملأن جهنم جهنم منك وممن تبعك منهم أجمعين.
From the very beginning, Iblis was jealous of us because he knew that Adam had been blessed over him, and his jealousy caused him to become blind with rage and anger, and this led him to always want to show that you're better. So Iblis and his progeny have an inferiority complex to us. In this wanting to be better than the other, this is where they take advantage of some amongst us, and some amongst us take advantage of them. That is the intersection of magic. The jinn tells the magician, you want my services? This is my price. And what does he ask him to do? Sacrilegious things. Things that are just disgusting, evil, blood sacrifice. How do you think the jinn is going to feel watching you in humiliation? This is giving the jinn a boost, a thrill. The magician will literally sell himself to the jinn. And when you sell yourself to the jinn, you cannot be a worshipper of Allah. It is very common for the magician to actually do acts of blatant kufr, things that are absolutely disgusting. But it involves dishonoring some of the signs of Allah. It involves najas, it involves humiliating his own body. It involves sacrilegious, vulgar, profane. And I don't want to give examples, but wallahi, the worst of the worst things, that anything you can think of, they do worse than this. 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 They do worse than this.
Kesha admits to drinking her own pee. Yeah, you heard me right. The glitter queen herself fully admitted to drinking her own urine during a recent interview with BBC One. She said it's, quote, all the things you would want to see and all the things you wouldn't really want to see. Making out with dudes, drinking my own pee, jumping out of a building, jumping out of airplanes, swimming with sharks. But it isn't the first time the former waitress has shocked us. You might remember Kesha drinking blood from a human heart on stage in Australia last year, or that time she wore an outfit entirely made of human teeth.
They say that you sell yourself to the devil. That's literally what you do. Literally, it's not even a figure of speech here. That's what you do, is you sell yourself to the shaitan. Do what you want, or ask me to do what you want, and I will then, obey you. What is the motivation of the magician? Money. Money. And maybe even fame, but money. They have to humiliate themselves in front of the jinn, sit at 3 a.m. facing such a direction in the middle of a pentagon, and you draw it out, and you will have this color light, and you will have this and that. So these are signals being given to the jinn world that I'm willing to enter.
Nancy Jenkinson.
Okay.
She was hired by Kim and her husband Kanye to look after their daughter Northwest, but was apparently fired by the household after just 6 months. Now, she also said that she regularly witnessed Kim drinking blood and consuming various human body parts as she worshipped Satan.
Beyonce has just been accused of casting spells and using dark magic on her former bandmate.
I don't want anything to do with this person, at all. I've said that for a very long time.
So this woman used to work as a drummer for Beyonce. Her name is Kimberly Thompson, and she played music with the megastar for 7 years. The woman seems thoroughly convinced that Beyonce practiced extreme witchcraft and dark magic to torment her.
The entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships.
This woman alleges that she cast magic spells of sexual molestation on her. She also claims that Beyonce murdered her kitten.
What happened with your cat? What happened with this? She cast spells. What exactly happened there?
The cat started doing weird magical stuff. I'm telling the person, the nurse, hey, I don't want this kitty. Please take it back. It's being weird. The cat it had its own personality. It stuck his hand out and grabbed my finger, type of weird, crazy shit. We're talking about other situations where changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff. So the fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, The situations I had to deal with and survive are crazy.
In part 1, we discussed the blatant occult symbolism used by Azalea Banks. Here's a video of her showing the place where she sacrifices chickens.
3 years worth of brujeria. Yes, you know I gotta scrape all this shit up. I got my sandblaster, my goggles. It's about to go down. Real witches do real things.
Dynamo was a magician, a trickster. He was in some difficult situation. He said to people around him that, I'm going to make something of myself, see you in a few weeks or few months, I'm going to be famous worldwide or whatever. He said that he went to live in the woods for a week, secluded himself and started worshipping the devil, or worshipped something within the woods. And I don't know, he just kind of submitted himself or something like that. And then when he came back, his career obviously blew up. Dynamo is, some of his tricks do seem like pretty unexplainable.
That's the one, yeah? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Watch.
Jinn have a very unique power, and that is the power to transform matter into energy and back into matter again. And that's something that we are trying to figure out how to do. E equals MC squared. Energy and matter are related, we know this. And the Jinn have the power to do this.
The vile acts that these artists commit go far beyond anything we can imagine. And the most shocking fact is that they are doing it right in front of our eyes. And one of the most disgusting acts that these artists have to commit is pedophilia. Pedophilia is very rampant in Hollywood, and now you know why this is the case.
Well, actor Corey Feldman was a sensation as a child star. He lived the Hollywood life, befriending major celebrities like Michael Jackson and others. Now as an adult and with headlines every day about sexual harassment in Hollywood, Feldman says he feels compelled to repeat his long-held claims about what happened to him as a child actor. And he says what happened to other child actors like him.
We have the ability to let our voices be heard and break the dam of silence.
Corey Feldman once again opening up about the dark side of the spotlight. In a new YouTube video, the former child star vowing to expose a ring of Hollywood pedophiles, who he claims have abused thousands of children.
I can name 6 names, one of them who is still very powerful today.
But along with the fame, Feldman says he learned firsthand about Hollywood's big secret, one he's tried to tell for years without naming names.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. And they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Former child star Elijah Wood says Hollywood has a seedy underbelly of child sex abuse and that those responsible are being protected by the entertainment industry elite. Wood, who's been acting since he was 8, told the Sunday Times there are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind.
Epstein is accused of running a sex trafficking network as complex and well-organized as it is disturbing. A sexual pyramid scheme involving recruiters from around the world assigned to lure girls as young as 14. And now, possibly new evidence seized from Epstein's $56 million home in New York.
Evidence including nude photographs of what appear to be underage girls.
Trump has long been connected to the multimillionaire, saying in 2002, "He's a lot of fun to be with." It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Legal experts say it's possible some of Epstein's powerful acquaintances could be investigated too.
Are they going to go after President Trump? Are they going to go after some other elected official who was part of Mr. Epstein's misconduct. Who knows?
In court filings, Gouffre says she became an underage teen sex slave for Epstein, who was later directed by Maxwell and Epstein to have sex with many, quote, powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, and other world leaders.
This is how they get rich and how they stay rich.
Could R. Kelly be going back to court on new sexual assault allegations? The hip-hop superstar has been accused of preying on teenage girls for decades.
The charges against the singer involve 4 women, 3 of whom were allegedly underage at the time.
R. Kelly has always denied every allegation, and his fans haven't known what to think. But now, the accusations and backlash have hit a record high, with reports that he's being investigated by the FBI. Today, we have exclusive interviews and insight from people who say they knew him best. And these accusations could change everything. Change everything. Change everything. Change everything.
In an HBO documentary set to air this weekend, James Safechuck and Wade Robson accused Michael Jackson of molesting them as young boys.
Wade Robson was just 5 years old when he met the performer he already idolized after winning a dance competition. Disturbing accounts of young boys who say they were manipulated and abused by the king of pop.
As Michael started doing these sexual acts, he started talking to me about, God brought us together. We love each other.
Safechuck claims Jackson gave him jewelry in exchange for sex acts and even staged a mock wedding with vows and a diamond ring.
Isaac Cappy was an actor who appeared in several Hollywood productions, such as Terminator and Breaking Bad. However, in the past years, he was recently known for accusing several Hollywood personalities of pedophilia and satanic ritual abuse. Some of the names he named throughout his video and social media posts are Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, and others. He allegedly committed suicide by jumping off a bridge. But this so-called suicide was very suspicious, to say the least.
Isaac Cappy has fallen to his death off a bridge. The case has immediately been ruled a suicide and closed. The next comment, they stated, "We do not know why Mr. Cappy took his own life." But authorities said that 2 teenagers driving by got out of their vehicle and tried to physically restrain Cappy from jumping, but failed. No one else was injured during the incident, and the investigation was closed. So you have 2 people who were seen struggling with him on the bridge, and then he falls to his death. Isaac Cappy, who came out last year and outed so many pedophiles in Hollywood. If this isn't a hit job, I don't know what is.
أم حسب الذين يعملون السيئات أن يسبقونا ساء ما يحكمون.
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know.
If you want to be part of the upper echelons of the music industry, you'll have to pay the ultimate price. When they reach a certain level of fame, the celebrities are asked to sacrifice members of their own family. We have plenty of proof of celebrities sacrificing their own loved ones for fame and money.
Kanye West blames himself for his mom's death. Kanye's mother, Donda, passed away at the age of 58 in 2007 from heart disease, while also suffering complications from plastic surgery. Now, 8 years later, Kanye is opening up about her death to Q Magazine. The 38-year-old rapper tells the mag, "If I had never moved to LA, she'd be alive. I don't want to go far into it because it will bring me to tears." The topic came up when Kanye was asked what he had to sacrifice for his success. He said, "My mom."
was once a nationally prominent cosmetic surgeon with his own TV show, The Other Half. But overnight, Dr. Jan Adams lost everything. How did things go south so quickly? He's the physician who performed surgery on Kanye West's mom 8 years ago. She died the next day.
You're known as the doctor who killed Donda West.
Kanye West can end this by telling the truth.
And what do you believe that truth is?
The doctor had nothing to do with his mom's death.
Adams says he wanted Donda to recover from her surgery at a medical facility, but he claims she insisted that her nephew, a nurse with a PhD in public health, care for her at her home.
Her nurse wasn't there. Her nurse was gone to a baby shower rather than taking care of his aunt.
Dr. Adams says Donda West was left lying flat on her back, causing her to choke to death.
This lady shouldn't be dead. All you had to do is sit her up. And every nurse on the planet knows that. My point to Kanye is tell what he knows, point the finger at who the coroner pointed at. And the truth, when you bury it, just grows bigger.
Kanye West released Graduation, the final piece of the education-themed trilogy that established Kanye as an icon. With Graduation, Kanye moved to a new level, musically and culturally. He graduated to rock star status.
Finally got a cover, man. I made it, man. I made it. We on the top of the world. You see what we doing? You see I'm fresh to death as usual. You know what I'm saying? This is not a mishap.
I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
The so-called music industry is such a demonic thing. It sacrifices people's lives.
Some sad news out of Los Angeles today. It was confirmed this morning that the 20-year-old son of hip-hop star Dr. Dre was found dead in his home on Saturday. Now, several reports say that Andre Young Jr. returned home Saturday morning after a night out. They also say that Young's mother found him unresponsive later on that morning. She called 911. Those reports have not been confirmed yet, and the cause of death has yet to be determined by the coroner's office.
Apple possibly poised to make the biggest deal in its history and in the process create what could be hip-hop's first billionaire. This is all about Dr. Dre's popular company Beats, which does headphones and much more.
Oh my! The first billionaire in hip-hop right here from the West Coast.
I don't know, man. Every time I put out an album, or every time I'm about to release an album, for some fucking strange reason, man, you know what I'm saying? I always lose somebody close to me. It was my pops, it was James, it was my sister. Like, I always lose somebody close to me, so, you know, shit feel like, you know, some crazy shit, like a jinx or some shit. Without being superstitious or just paranoid, I just take a toll. I take a toll out of niggas to just do shit, bro.
Bad news. The mother and brother of Oscar winner Jennifer Hudson were fatally shot in their Chicago home. In addition, an Amber Alert was issued for the singer's missing 7-year-old nephew. Late this evening, we've learned that police have taken into custody Hudson's brother-in-law, William Balfour, who is currently being questioned by the police. The shootings come as Hudson's career is soaring with a #1 song on the charts and a new film just released.
What songs remind you of your mom?
Temptations. Could have been anything that you wanted to. I can tell. The way you do the things you do by the Temptations. She would always sing that to us, and she'd sing it to me.
How were you able to get through that time?
Well, my family. Ooh, it's a very emotional subject, so.
I know.
My baby. And God.
And God.
Have you forgiven him?
Yes, because I feel like for the most part, it's not his fault. Like, it's what he was taught, how he was brought up. Like, we tried to offer love, but you were so far gone, you couldn't even see that. A lot of things came out that we didn't even know about from his upbringing.
Yeah.
Which is like, he never had a chance.
The man convicted of killing the father of NBA superstar Michael Jordan says he's innocent. James Jordan died in 1993. Andre Green and his friend Larry Demery were both charged with murder. Demery testified Green pulled the trigger, killing Jordan in the car where he'd been sleeping.
And of course, you know, I'm pissed to a certain degree because I know that I've been here for 17 years, you know, for something that I like, you know what I'm saying, really didn't have nothing to do with.
Back in 1996, an investigator testified she found a small amount of blood in the passenger seat of Jordan's car. But the latest report reveals the crime lab only found indications of blood during an initial test, and 4 follow-up tests were inconclusive.
I personally, the boys who were accused of murdering your father, I wanted to confront them and ask them why they did it. And I wondered if you wanted to do the same.
Well, I haven't gotten to that stage yet. You know, it's been a very tough time for me to deal with it. And I don't really have any feelings against them yet. You know, I guess because it hadn't really sunk in yet. But it's a lot of sadness out there with people who do these things for whatever reasons that they choose to do that. But I just really hadn't quite understood the reasoning for that. And I know
you say it hasn't sunk in yet?
No.
No?
I still think about it a lot.
Would you want to ever say to them why?
No, because I don't want to know.
You don't?
No. Because it probably would hurt me even more just to know their reasons. Because if it is, it's going to be totally meaningless to the reason. And it's better that I don't know. 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 It's better that I don't know.
Michael Jordan is the first U.S. professional athlete to become a billionaire.
That's right.
How did he get there? 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 How did he get there?
We're going to send you a letter, and that letter they're going to explain. But it's going to be coded like what they want him to do if he's willing to do this. You see, it's just like nursery rhymes. And you're like, what? If I do what? Well, I don't understand the letter. Give us your mama, and we'll put you in the $20 million club. Man, you crazy. And if you're weak, you ain't got the Lord on your side, you sitting at home in that dark room, you tired of eating Roman noodles, you ain't got no running water, electricity out, you buy a candle going, all right, man, she worked, you know, downtown, she get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home, you catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. All right. Thanks for showing up.
Mike Tyson's 4-year-old daughter has died one day after what police called a tragic accident. The little girl was found Monday morning by her brother with her neck caught in an exercise machine cable. The accident happened at Tyson's home in Phoenix.
Police now say the exercise equipment that proved fatal for the 4-year-old was not even turned on. She apparently was strangled by the unplugged electrical cord.
She was taken to this hospital where doctors described her condition as extremely critical. Mike Tyson was out of town at the time, but rushed back home from Las Vegas when he learned what had happened to his daughter.
Rapper Proof was one of Eminem's closest friends. He was killed outside of a nightclub in a drive-by shooting. The funny thing is that 2 years before his death, Eminem released the music video Like Toy Soldiers, and in this video, it shows his friend Proof being shot outside of a nightclub. He is then rushed to a hospital where he then dies. This clearly proves that Eminem had been planning to sacrifice his friend for a long time. We will later discuss a song where he admits that the death of his friend was his fault.
Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
By practicing black magic, the artists allow the jinn to possess them. The jinn takes over their consciousness and operates through them. Often, the artists develop an alter ego over which they have no control.
Roman is a crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage, so he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
With you have many different alter egos, right?
Oh yes.
Roman is one, and then you have...
Roman is one, Barbie is one. She's like the little innocent girl. I have Martha, who's Roman's mother. She's like a crazy lady from London. And actually, she's gonna make her debut in the video that I just shot with Drake. It's for a song called Moment for Life. So we just shot that video, and Martha, you'll actually see Martha in the video. It's gonna be kind of weird. It's my alter ego. He says what I can't say. He's mean. He's angry, and he's vicious.
Yeah, cool.
And then I have Martha. Martha is Roman's mother. Martha is like, Roman, stop it. You've gone mad, I tell you, mad.
Yeah, I definitely have different personas and different attitudes. Psycho Serena. You don't want to meet her. She's on the court. She's at practice, and she's in the match. And she's awesome, and she's amazing. She's this great athlete. There's Summer. She helps me out a lot. Summer has a whole story. Summer has a whole story. Like if I have to write long letters or if I have to do, different things, then Summer doesn't. She got married. Now she got divorced. She moved to England. Normally, when she talks to people on the phone, she just gets on the phone and she's like, hello, I'm Summer. How are you? And then the other girl that, the one that's really mean is Megan. Oh, no. She's extremely mischievous. You don't want to run to Megan. There's Taquanda. Whew. Taquanda is rough. She's from the hood. She was at the US Open in 2009. In that particular match that Taquanda played, first of all, I wasn't there, but I heard about it, and I ended up getting a lot of the backlash from it.
Laquanda got loose that day.
You have an alter ego when you go on vacation.
Yeah, I can't go on a vacation right now because I just can't deal with Gail. At the moment, I need to rest before Gail. Her name is Gail. I wish to God we had a photo of her.
Wait, you have a different persona when you're on vacation?
Apparently, yeah. I was
What
like,
do you mean,
guys,
apparently?
we should gamble.
What are you talking about?
She almost named herself. I think my girlfriends probably named her Gail, just by the way I look. And it's a very specific drunk too. It's not just like every time I'm drunk I turn into this, I think she's like some sort of tortoise gambler or something. I don't always turn into this masculine alter ego that jumps into shark-ridden waters just to make my friends laugh. My friends were like, that's too far, Jen, no.
Eminem has an alter ego he calls Slim Shady. The alter ego of him raps about bloody violence and killings. In his song, My Darling, Eminem has a discussion with the demon that possesses him.
And if I can, I have you know, okay, they're my darling, 'cause I possess your soul, your mind, your heart, your mind.
Sage, I know you in there somewhere, come here, talk to me.
Eminem proceeds to argue with this demon that is inside him.
Diet back, come on, try it.
Ah, no, I I told you, leave me the fuck alone, will you?
But I'm here to rebuild you. I gave you enough time, your soul's mine. I'm taking it back.
You fucking bitch, why?
And he keeps on arguing with the demon. He even tries to kill it.
Okay, I'm still alive.
So am I too. You can't kill a spirit even if you tried to. You sold your soul to me. Need I remind you? Remember that night you prayed to God you give anything to get a record deal? Well, Dre signed you. This is what you wanted your whole life. Was alright. Look at this house. Look at these cars. They're so nice. Oh, but you didn't know fame has a price too. Did you just now seeing the downside too? Who's your best friend from high school? Your wife too?
In the end of the song, Eminem raps along with the demon, which he calls my darling, which means he has surrendered to the demon and allows it to possess him. People claim that this demon is a metaphor for the downside of his success. But if we listen to the song, we can understand the real meaning.
And the dark shall emerge from the fiery depths of hell, the swallow, the shallow, the hollow who dwell in the shadows of all who are willing to sell their souls for this rap game and it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That ain't the hook, now follow me.
A lot of the artists try to hide their alter egos by claiming that they suffer from a bipolar disorder. Mariah Carey recently came out revealing that she is bipolar.
Now, Carey revealing she's been hiding a secret struggle for nearly 17 years, a battle with bipolar II disorder. The singer-songwriter opening up to People magazine, saying, "Until recently, I lived in denial and isolation and in constant fear someone would expose me. It was too heavy a burden to carry, and I simply couldn't do that anymore."
Her sister, however, which she never talks to, exposes the real reason behind her so-called disorder.
There was a close family member involved in a satanic cult. Used to force me to attend certain rituals. There were a lot of things that I witnessed that, were like secrets that you wish you didn't have to hold on to. People would be wearing black robes with hoods, so you couldn't see their faces. And they'd be walking in a line, chanting the usual things that satanic cults do, like drink blood. They do that. I did suffer sexual abuse during those rituals. Some of those satanic holidays, they always will be involved with sexual abuse with children, forcing children to have sex with adults, adults having sex with other adults. There's all kinds of stuff going on that really shouldn't be, and it shouldn't be something that children are forced to watch. Screw up the child for their whole life.
Kanye West allegedly also has a bipolar disorder.
Being bipolar is part of what makes you brilliant, part of what makes you you, and you embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things where people are like, how are you going to talk about it?
Wonder where he got it from?
I sold my soul to the devil, 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 to the devil.
أولئك الذين اشتروا الحياة الدنيا بالآخرة فلا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينصرون.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
If you really want to know about secret societies, then you need to understand their symbolism. Occult symbolism allows secret societies to communicate profound messages in public without the masses understanding what's being conveyed. We will prove without a shadow of a doubt that the music industry is controlled by satanic secret societies. The symbolism is so blatant and obvious that denying it would be nonsensical. Same symbols have been used repeatedly by different artists throughout the years. The symbols can be traced back to ancient Babylonian religions. The Satanists possessed ancient secret knowledge about the universe and the human soul. They use this knowledge to manipulate and deceive our reality.
The first real civilization was Babylon. We're going back to the earliest of times. Allah is telling us the origins. What is sihr? And these Yahud are following what was revealed to the two angels of Babylon. These were called Harut and Marut. What was revealed to these two angels? Allah sent down two angels with the knowledge of how to control or access the jinn, which is magic. And the angels were sent to the city of Babylon. And the angels were allowed to teach anybody who wanted to study with them the quote-unquote art of magic. But the angels also claim with a big disclaimer. The angels said to anybody who came to them, we are a test from Allah, so do not commit kufr by studying with us. But obviously the people of Babylon insisted and they studied it. All magic that is existent today somehow goes back to Babylon. There are different madhahib and different arts and different ways within magic. They all originate at Babylon. And the knowledge that was taught, according to the first opinion, directly from the angels to mankind. And the angels taught or told the men, whoever got this knowledge from them, they would have no share of the next world. You can literally purchase this world at the expense of the next. And what an evil price they sold themselves for, لو كانوا يعلمون, if they only understood.
I have found that at the very heart and core of all these secret societies lurks the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is the ancient Jewish mysticism. It is a method of encoding information through a system of mathematics and numbers. It is some of the most ancient knowledge that man has ever possessed and has been kept secret and given only to those who have proven themselves worthy through the process of initiation. Nobody knows where it comes from. I can tell you this, it was there long before the Jews came along. The Jews just took it and preserved it, and they passed it down, and it's used by everybody because it's at the heart and core of the secret knowledge, the metaphysics, the real science that none of us know anything about. These people that belong to the secret societies never dared to write down in any language what they knew, what it was that they were guarding, because then someone could steal it and then the secret would be out. So they devised secret systems of encoding the secrets of the ages, the knowledge, the hidden knowledge, the occult. So they took this knowledge and they made it occult through a system of encoding, encryption, one of which is mathematics, numbers. Another is architecture. Everybody wonder, why do they have a fraternal organization called the Freemasons? Aren't those the guys that build walls? You bet they do. But every wall they build contains the secrets that have been kept and maintained throughout the ages, and it's encoded in the architecture and in the measurements of the buildings and in the mathematical formulas used to derive the geometry, the shape.
Those of you who remember doing trigonometry in school can forget it, because ancient Babylonians may have had a better way of doing it. And now, thanks to a new discovery, it could change how we calculate today. Scientists have discovered the purpose of a 3,700-year-old clay tablet, making it the oldest trigonometric table to date, and possibly more accurate.
Our research shows that it's a trigonometric table, so unfamiliar and advanced that in some respects it's superior even to modern trigonometry.
On the surface, Freemasonry might look like an ordinary organization that conducts the usual formal business and organizes social and charitable events. But at the heart of Freemasonry, we find traces of their satanic Babylonian heritage. At the core of all secret societies, you will find the same ancient Babylonian teachings. They all believe in the same philosophy and practice the same rituals. The symbolism used by these secret societies gives away their real origins and their real intentions. If we compare the occult symbolism with the music industry, we clearly see who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. Most of the time, the artists have absolutely no idea what they are promoting or what any of the symbols in their videos mean. They just do as they are told and wait for their check to arrive in the bank. They have sold their morals and values for a miserly price. Now, let us compare the symbolism between the secret societies and the music industry. After this, there can't be any denying that the artists are working for Satan himself. The square and compass is the single most identifiable symbol of Freemasonry. It's used in Masonic rituals as emblems to teach symbolic lessons. The symbol looks very similar to the symbol that is used by Satanists of the Thelemic religion. We can give you a lot more examples, but this proves once again that at the core of Freemasonry is just another satanic secret society. The mosaic floor is a typical mosaic symbol, as you can see. We see it reoccurring everywhere in the music industry. This is their way of showing who is really in control. The Jonas Brothers. Young Thug and Lil Uzi Vert, dancing for their masters. YG in the dark. Look who decides to show up. Cardi B. In her debut album. Even K-pop group TXT. Who are they representing? Oh, you thought this was a joke. We can keep on going, but I think you get the point.
يوم يدعون إلى نار جهنم دعا هذه النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون أفسحر هذا أم أنتم لا تبصرون.
When Allah first created the universe, He encoded its secrets in numbers. You can uncover information about the world and the human soul by using numerology. Numerology is the idea that the universe is a complex system. And once broken down, we are left with the basic elements, which is numbers. The world and even our consciousness is built on the power of numbers. Everything and anything can be translated into numerical form, usually in single digits.
The Fibonacci sequence is a string of numbers that begins with 0 and 1, which can be extended infinitely by adding up any two consecutive numbers to find the next in the sequence. We soon realized this string of digits was of fundamental importance, and today we apply this knowledge in all manner of practical ways. But the way in which you have most likely encountered it is via the mysterious golden ratio.
The Creator has always used the very same number in numerous events in the universe. In our heart pulses, the aspect ratio of DNA spiral, and the special design of the universe, and the leaf array rules of plants, which is named as phyllotaxy, in the snowflakes, crystals, in the spiral structure of numerous galaxies. The Creator has used the same number, the number of golden mean, 1.618. It is observed that this ratio is applied to the pyramids of Egypt, like it was applied to various famous architectural works. The aspect ratio of any form is 1.618, then this form is convenient to golden mean.
And it's not just humans either. as we've seen the ratio demonstrated in the shells of snails, the number of petals in a flower, and the arrangement of individual seeds within seed heads.
So, where is the golden mean point of the Earth? The proportion of distance between Mecca and the North Pole to the distance between Mecca and the South Pole is exactly 1.618, the golden mean. Moreover, the proportion of the distance between the South Pole and the city of Mecca to the distance between both poles is again 1.618. The miracle is not over yet. The golden mean point of the Earth, according to common location language of mankind, graticule map, is in the city of Mecca. The proportion of eastern elongation to the western elongation, which are determined as solstice line from Mecca, is again 1.618. Moreover, as shown in the figure, the proportion of western elongation of Mecca to the solstice line to the perimeter of the Earth on this very latitude is surprisingly the golden mean, 1.618.
Artists from Da Vinci to Dali also incorporated the golden ratio in the layout of their paintings, and the ratio can also be detected in music.
Okay, a piece of music has a golden section, which is that point, that climactic. It doesn't always have to be dramatic, but just something special always happens. Music theorists have claimed to find the golden ratio in the works of many famous classical composers.
Finding one is simple. Take the length of a song and then multiply it by 0.618, the inverse of 5. For example, take Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. We have a total of 246 seconds times 0.618, which equals 152 seconds. Now listen to what happens at that exact moment. If you look hard enough, you'll start finding it everywhere. Check out Drake's In My Feelings.
And I'm skate and smoke and rap. Now let me see you.
It turned out that when we discovered the original musical scale, there was not just 6, but a total of 9 core creative frequencies to the universe. That is, everything in the universe is made from 9 notes, only 9. And that the first 6 are the solfeggio, and then there's 3 additional ones that form a perfect circle of sound. And that perfect circle of sound looks something like this, if you graph it. So the first 6 notes, 396, 417, 528, 639, 741, 852, was the original solfeggio scale. The 528 that you can see on my left in green is the color green. It's the heart of the rainbow. That's the miracle note from the original solfeggio note, from the original solfeggio scale. And the other note that you see, 741, which is part of nature, is called the devil's interval in musicology. That when you play 741 with 528, it creates such an annoying and dissonant energy, diseasing, stressful, that if you continue to listen to it, you could die. In the world today, we have people who are controlling virtually everything economically, geopolitically. Their agenda has been population manipulation, population control for millennia. They have held the secret knowledge, the ancient music, by which the pyramids were constructed based on the math. All of the universe is constructed according to these 9 tones. They knew about them. In fact, they instituted. In fact, it was the Rockefeller Foundation in 1939 that instituted the world's standard tuning. The Western world tunes to A440 Hertz frequency.
Music prior to 1939 was mainly tuned in 432 Hertz for the most part. This was a natural or seen by researchers as an organic evolution of music through the ages in which classical music was tuned to 432 Hertz. This frequency is said to be synonymous with organic projections from nature, human beings being a projection, of course, of nature.
432 resonates with the universe golden mean 5 and unifies the properties of light,
time, space, matter, gravity, and magnetism with biology, the DNA code, and consciousness. It is all measured on the basis of a second, hertz. What's so special about a second? It is something we all decided to use as a standard system to define time, and it all dates back to the Babylonians, who used the sexagesimal system.
So 432 Hz was the frequency in which instruments pre-1939, again for the most part, was used in Europe and around the world. But that all changed in 1939 when an international conference held in London recommended strongly that the world frequency, at least in regards to tuning instruments, be changed to 440 Hz. After this date, the BBC, among many others around the world, required their orchestras to tune to 440 Hz.
Which meant that there was a clear, scientifically researched intent, and indeed that's exactly what happened. The 741 A440 link came out of military research in the 1930s to induce psychosocial stress and dis-ease to the max. It was selected that A440 would be the standard tuning for the Western world. In fact, quote, mass hysteria, end quote, could be induced by instituting that frequency.
Since a number of researchers have stated that people feel differently under the long-term influence of music and broadcasts at 440 Hz than they actually do at the natural organic broadcast of 432 Hz.
And now you begin to explain why you went from the era of Frank Sinatra, where women would mostly swoon over Frank, suddenly Elvis Presley, rioting began. It was scientifically determined for military acoustic warfare research that if you simply used A440 standard tuning, that you could engage about 6% of the population perhaps to actually go into this kind of crisis, into this hysteria.
Most of the music that we listen to, most of the hood music, most of the music that's on the top charts, it's played through bad frequencies. 432 hertz is the good shit, right? Then you got another frequency that's 440 hertz. That's what most of the music that we listen to. Most of the music that you listen to, you could be in a car on your way to work, just having a regular nice day, and you turn on the music, and out of nowhere, you start feeling moody. You start feeling depressed. And it's not the music, it's not the artist, it's the frequency that they playing the music on. Most of the music today is played under that dark energy ass frequency that causes us depression, have us moody. You be in a concert, you drunk as hell, you around all this badass energy, all this type of shit flowing around you that you can't see with these two eyes until you start upping your level of consciousness. Y'all all turned up and then y'all come home hungover the next day, y'all moody, y'all tired, y'all have no energy to do nothing. You just spent all your energy at a concert under all that dark energy, etc. XXXTentacion, he was saying like how people put different frequencies.
Because music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? There's hertz, kilohertz, megahertz, and then there's ultra hertz. If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind, target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, if I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that.
Only Allah knows the real meaning behind numbers. But we have discussed earlier that Allah sent down 2 angels to Babylon with the secret knowledge of numbers. The people of Babylon studied this knowledge and kept it hidden from the rest of the world. Using this knowledge, they excelled far beyond their time and even beyond our own time. Babylonians passed this knowledge on to the Egyptians, who also excelled in architecture, medicine, and so on. This is how they were able to build their pyramids, which to this day still are a mystery to scientists. This knowledge was then passed on to the Jews, who possess this ancient knowledge to this day. And the knowledge is only passed on through their own bloodlines. They have formed secret societies to keep this knowledge hidden from the masses and pass it on through cryptic messages and symbols.
These are the ancient societies that were more advanced than so much of the rest of the world. This area of Babylon, these bloodlines became the elite because they had abilities to do things because of their advanced knowledge. We have a head of state in Buckingham Palace who is only head of state because of her bloodline. If she had a different DNA, she might be cleaning the throne, not sitting on it. So even today we have this still running. And in the background, among those that control banking and business and media, we seriously have it running. It's just hybrid bloodlines were the ones that ended up in the positions of royal power. These bloodlines moved out of Babylon and they moved up into Europe. And one of the places that they established themselves was Rome, where they were the bloodlines behind the Roman Empire. Now, one of the common themes that you find wherever these bloodlines went is an empire. You had the Babylonian Empire, for instance, and then you had the Roman Empire, and then they moved up into Northern Europe and eventually located their headquarters in Britain. What followed that? The British Empire, on which it was said the sun never set because it was so vast. What they did was export the bloodline all over the world. The secret society network, which follows the bloodline, to manipulate it and its representatives into positions of power to control the societies they target. When the colonial empires apparently on the surface broke up, was global Babylon. Because what happened on the surface, the colonial powers gave independence to the countries like Australia and America and stuff like that. But in truth, what happened was the bloodline and the secret society network stayed in those countries and have gone on controlling those countries ever since.
Now that we know Vice President Dick Cheney and Senator Barack Obama are distant cousins, the New York Post decided to check into the genealogy of President Bush, and his family tree has people talking.
Vice President Dick Cheney, the man who's only a heartbeat away from the presidency, is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's 9th cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin and the 9th cousin of Brad Pitt. But we're only just getting started. President Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed, and Bush shared more than just a ballot with John Kerry. That's right, they're 9th cousins twice removed. There's also royalty in the Bush bloodline. Princess Diana was Bush's 11th cousin twice removed. He's also related to Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, even Pocahontas, and Vlad the Impaler. Trace the family tree far enough, and you get Madonna, Celine Dion, and Tom Hanks.
All the presidents, with the exception of one, share the same grandfather.
11-year-old Bridget Dovigneau says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins, and they're grandsons of John.
It may be surprising to some, but the Queen is actually distantly related to her husband. The two are third cousins through their shared great-great-grandparents, Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, who themselves were first cousins.
Meghan Markle is the latest American to marry into the British monarchy. But did you know the 36-year-old already has royalty in her blood? Meghan is related to Edward III, the former King of England, and the nobleman Roger Mortimer.
That this is an extraordinary connection, which in a way it is. And the thing that makes it extraordinary is that we were able to find the documents that actually connect her to those lines.
Meghan's parents are Doria Ragland and Tom Markle Sr. We can trace Tom Sr.'s lineage all the way back to the Revolutionary War, with some relatives actually coming from England during the time of Queen Victoria, who, of course, is Prince Harry's great-great-great-great-grandmother.
Numerology is an aspect of black magic that holds the secrets to the universe. The Illuminati knows the secrets behind magical numbers, and they are blatantly using it for evil.
They know the secrets of numbers, and so they use numbers. The Prophet ﷺ, when they used magic on him, they blew on 11 knots. And this is why the Mu'awwidhatayn has 11 ayahs, because it protects against their magic. So this is real stuff, people. I'm not making this up. This is real stuff. 11 is the devil's number, because 11 is one beside one. And you will notice that in their numerology, they use 11 a lot, and they like multiples of 11. 11, 22, 33, 66. They like these multiples. The number 23 in numerology is one of their numbers.
Can you guess who played with the number 23 on his back?
Ben, do you know the tale of why Michael Jordan chose the number 23? Michael Jordan said this. In high school, when I played with my brother, my favorite number was 45, and his favorite number was 45, but we were on the same team. He had seniority. He had the option to wear 45, so I just figured 23 was half of 45, 22 and a half, so I grabbed 23. And 23 has stuck with me the whole time. I went back to 45 in the NBA in 95. I was just coming back from my retirement. My father had just passed. I had never worn any other number than 23 in front of him in the NBA. I felt like I wanted to start off fresh, so I went back to 45, and for whatever reason, that didn't click in terms of luck or just the way I felt. And then, of course, Jordan switched back to number 23 for good during a 1995 playoff series against the Magic.
Oh, you thought we were playing. Guess on what day his father was sacrificed, murdered. July the 23rd.
The number 23, a heart-wrenching odyssey into paranoia, and the most horrifying metamorphosis ever told.
I'm buying this for you.
Chapter 1. All I could think about was the number. I met you when I was...
23.
And the day we met was?
September 14th.
9/14. 14 plus 9 is?
23. Is it all just a coincidence?
I don't know. I was born at 11:12 p.m. 11 plus 12. 23. My birthday, 2/3. Driver's license, social security number. It's all 23. As if it's imitating my life.
You've concerned yourself with minutiae and you've drawn wild conclusions from them.
The number. What does that mean?
To a new lawsuit facing Jim Carrey. The actor is being accused of illegally obtaining and giving his former girlfriend the painkillers she later used to take her own life.
The number 23 seems to be related to sacrifices. Miley Cyrus, yet another industry pawn, has a song named 23. They are wearing Jordans, shoes made by Michael Jordan. We would like to mention that studying numerology is strictly forbidden in Islam. We don't know the meaning behind these numbers. We are just showing you how they use them. So please abstain from studying this field. One of the other magical numbers that they use frequently is the number 7. Ariana Grande has a song named 7 Rings.
Ariana Grande has got a real problem with demons, she told Complex magazine. Apparently, she went to a haunted cemetery called Stull Cemetery near Kansas City.
I felt this sick, overwhelming feeling of negativity over the whole car, and we smelled sulfur, which is the sign of a demon. She said, "This is scary, let's leave." I rolled down the window before we left and said, "We apologize. We didn't mean to disrupt your peace." Then I took a picture, and there are 3 super distinct faces in the picture. They're faces of textbook demons.
But she also says that she took the picture and she tried to send it to her manager, but it wouldn't download because it said it was too many megabytes. In fact, it was 666 megabytes, which is supposedly
the mark of the beast.
That's right.
And now Ariana is obviously very passionate about this demon encounter. She actually had a whole folder on her phone entitled Demons, but when the interviewer asked to see it, she said she had actually deleted it because so many crazy occurrences were happening. Ariana also said that she felt like the demons followed her back home. She had an encounter where she was sleeping, where she saw this black figure over her bed. She didn't want to feed the fear. She thought it was there, it wanted to scare her. So she just called her friend and she fell asleep on the phone. When she woke up, the room was demon-free.
There are 3 demons in the photo. One is like an angry looking face. One is like a sort of like stressed out face. No.
There's the elephant one along the tree.
No, there's an elephant.
The
And
demon's
one is
a little
a massive
Zoptic, but-
and one is a massive dog head with huge horns.
Very like medieval.
Medieval demon looking.
It's real.
It's very real.
It's a
And,
real
and every
moment.
time we look back at the photo, we keep discovering more faces.
Protect yourself.
Protect
Don't wreck
yourself.
yourself.
Don't wreck yourself.
No, hide your kids.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
The bracelet that she is showing is the Kabbalah red string that we discussed in part 1. It's worn by practitioners of magic. Tupac Shakur, without a doubt, was one of the most controversial rappers of his time. What was even more controversial was his death. At the end of his life, he began speaking against the music industry. His last album, which released after his death, was The Dawn, Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory. Some crazy numerology is going on. Tupac would not shy away from admitting that he had sold his soul for fame and money, yet another sellout. In his song, Good Life, he raps, "Picture a nigga on the verge of living insane. I sold my soul for a chance to kick it and bang. It cost me my soul, out of control in a devil's world. Me, my niggas, and my girl living the good life." On 9/11/2001, Al-Qaeda terrorists supposedly flew 2 planes into the World Trade Center buildings. But everyone knows that this was complete nonsense. 9/11 was a very symbolic date for the Illuminati. The first plane to hit one of the towers was American Airlines Flight 11. This Boeing aircraft had 11 crew members on board. The funny thing is that only 2 buildings were hit by planes, but 3 buildings collapsed on that day. The third building, which was not hit by any plane, collapsed by a so-called fire. Guess which building it was? World Trade Center Building 7. The Illuminati went crazy with their numerology on this day. They were exposing the masses to this numerology way before the attacks happened. They were preconditioning our minds to accept their side of the story. They are using subliminal messages. Subliminal messages are specifically designed to influence your mental processes and behavior. So the more you see these symbols throughout the days, weeks, months, and years,
We have our own phone.
you are being communicated as a message that you are seeing all the time, but do not clearly know it is happening or what is actually being communicated to you. Listen to Will Smith explain it in the movie Focus.
You got a problem, my friend.
Take those binoculars, pick any player on or off the field, and I will guess the number.
Oh, I don't like it.
Okay. You pick the player, and she'll guess the number.
You stole many a man's soul of faith.
Number 55.
I was around when Jesus.
How did you know who he was gonna pick?
We told him to. We've been telling him all day. From the moment he left his hotel room, we've been priming him, programming his subconscious. He's been seeing the number 55 all day long. On the elevator, in the lobby, even the stick pin on the doormat. We loaded his route from the hotel to the stadium. He looks out the window, primers are everywhere. Now he doesn't see it, but he does. There's no getting around it. He even sees far. Suggestions are everywhere, from the number of flowers in a vase. And it's not only what he sees, it's what he hears. The Mandarin word for 5 is Wu. There are 124 woo-woos in sympathy for the devil. Now, he's not registering it, but it's all there. So when he picks up those binoculars, looks out on the field, sees a familiar face with the number 55 on his jersey, some little voice in the back of his mind says, that's it. And he thinks it's intuition, and he picks.
This is why they keep bombarding us with their occult symbolism. These subliminal messages have a deep and penetrating effect on our subconscious minds, so that when they finally come out of the shadows and establish their new world order, we will welcome it with open arms. In 2005, so-called terrorists blew themselves up in London.
Reports are just coming in of an explosion at Liverpool Street Station here in London.
On that Aldgate, I can confirm a bomb damage to train, one carriage completely wiped out, at least 9 people very seriously injured and trapped, 2 confirmed fatalities.
These attacks are also known as the 7/7 bombings. This was clearly a false flag attack orchestrated by the Illuminati, because they hate Islam and they love numerology. After Lil Nas X released his first single, Old Town Road, he achieved instant viral popularity. Big record labels lined up to sign him. After signing a record deal, it was very obvious that he had sold his soul. He was featured on Teen Vogue, won an award, and his debut album was named 7. Dynamo, who we discussed earlier, is returning to TV for the first time in 5 years with a brand new series. The series will launch next year and will be titled Project 7. Beyonce has a song called 7-Eleven. Also notice the Mosaic shirt. How much more proof do you need? Jay-Z, who's probably the most prominent Satanist in the music industry, released an album called 444. Once again, only they knew the meaning behind these numbers.
Secret or hidden knowledge of the ancient mysteries were never revealed to the profane, defined as those not initiated into the inner mysteries except through the media of symbols. You're going to find, folks, that symbols mean more than you will ever begin to understand unless you've waded deep into the stream of the Mystery Babylon, as I have. Symbolism fulfilled the dual office of concealing the sacred truths from the uninitiated and revealing to those qualified to understand the symbols.
This is the Anton LaVey Seagull, which was worn by the Satanists. Notice the lightning bolt that goes through the pentagram. This clearly is a satanic symbol. You will find once again artists using the lightning bolt symbol. Lady Gaga. Ariana Grande. Avril Lavigne, Amy Winehouse, Kesha, Lily Allen. Also notice the Mosaic symbol. This is the Babylonian goddess Ishtar. This is Madonna honoring her. These people are following the ancient religion of Babylon.
If you notice, they use also backwards. It's haram to recite the Quran backwards. This is well known because in magic they recite things backwards.
In Lil Uzi Vert's music video, you can see Arabic letters written backwards. These are some nasty people. Everything on Ariana Grande's website is upside down.
Aleister Crowley taught them to learn how to talk backwards. John Lennon actually knew how to speak backwards. There's recordings of him speaking backwards. And they do backmasking on their albums where they actually play things in reverse. Led Zeppelin, followers of Aleister Crowley, did this on one of their albums. So you're getting literally magical messages.
The fade is me singing backwards with the guitars going backwards. Cherish now, it's nearer, nearer. I can sing it now. That's great, right? So yeah, that was the start. That was a gift of God. That one.
My Hannah can be spelled either way, forward and backward. Hannah, right? Oprah, what's her production company's name? Harpo. So when you see these backward things, you know you're dealing with people that are into this magic.
Here's Anton Levy explaining what the hand signs really mean. Think twice before you imitate your favorite rapper.
Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works?
Sign of the
completely
curse?
different.
How does it go?
This is the sign of the horns. A curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know? The other one is the pox sign, that's three fingers extended.
A pox on you?
A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was used.
That symbol that they're all doing, that symbol, he said, was a curse symbol of devils. That's the way they put curses on people. Right? And you've got people at rock concerts, they're all doing it, thinking it's cool. There they are doing these symbols, you see, and this is another symbol. Even though it means okay, it's actually a demonic symbol that represents 666. Don't do these signs. They're magical signs. We have no symbols in our religion.
In Ariana Grande's Break Free music video, you can see the seal of Satan. And also the symbol used for Kabbalah.
Why is there so much one-eye symbolism amongst these entertainers? Have you ever seen anybody when you take a picture and he says, hold on, hold on. I've never seen any normal person do that. Why do they do this? Because this is their religion. They worship the one-eyed God. Horus, he's called in Crowley's mythology. Why are all their symbols with one eye? What's happening? And then the pyramid, because they believe in a pharaonic structure. They believe in an elite, and then everybody else, the masses that just follow them and do what they tell them. But Shaitan is inspiring them to do this, because he's preparing people.
After this, there can't be any doubt about the existence of the devil. And if the devil exists, then there sure does exist a God, a supreme being, creator of every single matter. Do not be fooled by the grand deceiver. He has deceived many and will keep on deceiving many. Don't follow what these artists are promoting. They only promote lewdness and indecency. And know that the music industry only encourages excessive indulgence and gratification of our lowly carnal desires, while Allah has ordered modesty among His believers.
يا بني آدم قد أنزلنا عليكم لباسا يواري سوآتكم لباسا يواري سوآتكم وريشا ولباس التقوى ذلك خير ذلك من آيات الله لعلهم يذكرون يا بني آدم لا يفتننكم الشيطان كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة ينزع عنهما لباسهما ليريهما سوآتهما إنه يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم إنا جعلنا الشياطين أولياء للذين لا يؤمنون.
The artists have gained everything you can gain in this world, but lost their own souls. They have sold for a trivial price something unique that was given to us by our Lord, our soul, which is eternal, never-ending. Don't fall in the devil's trap, promising you temporary enjoyment in this life. Know that Allah has with Him the best of rewards, prepared for those who are patient and mindful of Him. And the devil will only lead you to the blazing fire which has been prepared for the wrongdoers. If we only knew.
ويوم يحشرهم جميعا ثم يقول للملائكة أهؤلاء إياكم كانوا يعبدون قالوا سبحانك أنت ولينا من دونهم بل كانوا يعبدون الجن أكثرهم بهم مؤمنون فاليوم لا يملك بعضكم لبعض نفعا ولا ضرا ونقول للذين ظلموا ذوقوا عذاب النار التي كنتم بها تكذبون.
And he who purifies himself from all kinds of sins, then he purifies only for the benefit of himself. And to Allah is the final return of all.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على Allah